Okay guys, let's give this a try for the first time. This is a different kind of vlog. We're gonna go on a random rant, a mini journey here at my office because it takes way too much time to edit the Coachella vlog. But in all seriousness, I know I promise you guys a video every 1st and 15th of the month, and I have been delivering on them. And Shawn and I have been talking about creating different types of content. So instead of either him following me around, a day in the life of, and then also sometimes me carrying the selfie stick and recording different vlogs, I thought that every now and then we'd switch it up and have me talk about specific topics that I often get asked about. So today the topic is gratitude. Anyways, I wrote that super crooked. So gratitude is something that I have been practicing for the last 4 to 5 years. And it's a topic that I get asked very often about. And today I'll talk to you guys a little bit about, let's just say, 2 reasons. 2 reasons that I think practicing gratitude, it's not just that we are grateful, but it's almost like it's a certain practice that supports us in many ways. And the 2 things that I'll just share about today as far as why I continue to talk about gratitude, to express gratitude, to practice gratitude, and to be very aware of all the things I'm grateful for, and not just being aware of it and knowing it myself, but actually speaking about it, writing about it, meditating about it. That really ends up, 1, improving my overall mood and therefore the mood of others, and 2, ends up attracting and manifesting great things towards my way and the things that I'm working on. So once again, the 2 things that it really supports me and many other people in is A, it lifts up my mood, your mood, everyone else's mood, and 2, it really is a practice that manifests and attracts more positive things, people, opportunities, possibilities your way. So I'll share with them how I really started on this practice. About 4 years ago, I talk about 4 years ago very often because it was about 4 to 5 years ago that I really had this post-quarter life crisis. Good job, 6 figures, doing really well with my career, really advancing, and didn't have very many worries. And in that moment, I was faced with a decision of either to take on a much bigger, more important role at my company at that time, and really almost marry it in a way, because I would make more money, have more responsibilities, and become one of the partners at the company. And at that time, I had this crisis because it's not that anything was going horribly wrong. If anything, it felt like things were at a standstill. It felt like things were good, but I wanted to do something great. I wanted to do something of meaning. I wanted to figure out if I was truly living out my life's purpose. And as I started asking myself all these questions, the answers came quick, and the answers were no. I was not living out my life's true purpose, and although many people could spin it in a way to say that, hey, the company you're at actually helps and supports a lot of people and a lot of causes and provides jobs, and that's great and all, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I knew that that wasn't my life's purpose and calling. And that's when I started really diving in deep and asking myself, what do I want to be when I grow up? What do I want to do? Who do I get to be? And that was the very beginning of my deep dive into personal development, leadership, entrepreneurship. It was when I quit my job, started my companies, moved across country from San Francisco to New York. And that's when gratitude became such a crucial practice that I hung on very tightly to. I never let go of that practice because it served me so well on my good days, but even more so on my shitty days when I feel like complete crap. So I'll share with you why. Throughout this process of letting go of this almost like identity, right? The career that I've built up, the relationships, this trajectory and path, to really risk it all and pursue entrepreneurship, to literally go from a lot of income to no income, to go against my whole family, the Asian culture, like what everyone's telling me to do and what not to do. I had a lot of external noises and circumstances and situations and hurdles and obstacles coming my way. So practicing gratitude, and at the end of the day, no matter what went wrong, how many times I got rejected, how my business was super shaky, and how this passion project, right, this charity and music lifestyle brand took so much work in order to create so little visible results. And I say visible because the results are there, they're being created. However, when you're in the trenches, you don't really see the light at the end of the tunnel, oftentimes I'll say. And so at the end of every day, every night, sometimes really, really late, like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., I would journal. I would journal sometimes about the fuck-ups, oftentimes affirmations of like why I'm doing this and the things that I'm grateful for. Holy shit, I'm hella broke, but I'm grateful that I'm following my life's purpose. Holy cow, how am I gonna pay my mortgage back in California and my rent in New York? But wow, I'm in New York, the city that I've always dreamt of living in ever since I was a kid, right? Like, holy cow, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. How did I get myself into this mess? And many people would probably not have the courage to do what you're doing, Elaine. So you are setting an example and you are living out your life's purpose, even despite the challenges and the hardships in this very moment. So I would almost like journal about all these things. Oftentimes, they're the fucked up things, and wrap it up with gratitude. The things that I'm grateful for, the things that are going right, and despite the fogginess of everything, to realign myself at the end of each day, each night, to my vision, my greater purpose and calling. And that's always supported me in getting sleep, some sleep at least. So yes, it definitely improved my overall mood by the end of the night. I'm not saying this works every single time. Some days are just gonna feel like dog shit, and no amount of journaling and gratitude and speaking it out loud, thinking about it, meditating about it will support you. However, it's about the constant practice. By practicing this, I would say most nights, I felt better. And then it's not just about the end of the night, right? It's about you setting yourself up to win the very next day. So this practice has like saved my ass. Actually, as I'm talking about this, I have this planner that I started using about maybe 2 years ago, actually. And it's the Smart Life Push Journal. It's not cheap. It's from Chalene Johnson, but I love the colors. I love like the sections. And there's one section that says, I am grateful for. And it's awesome. Like I end up, even if I don't journal for the day, as I look through my task, as I look through my to-do list, as I look through like all the things I did or I didn't do, and I check it off, there's a section that allows for me to jot down a line or two, or sometimes a lot longer, about the things that I am grateful for, despite everything else that's going on. The second purpose, the second reason that I love the practice of gratitude is for some magical, mysterious, unexplainable way, unless you believe in the law of attraction, which I do to a certain extent, but not like super into it, but for some mysterious way, When we practice gratitude and we write about it, we speak about it, we meditate on it, it tends to generate, literally, it tends to generate and manifest more positive things in our lives. This is true. Like, I am a firm believer in this. And it could be that because we're leaving all the negative stuff out the door, or we acknowledge its presence, right? This thing, that thing, this thing I got to do, this commitment, that thing, this hiccup, and that roadblock. We are also acknowledging the amazingness of the support that we have, having a roof over our heads, making money, living on our own terms, having supporters, having volunteers, having new clients. So by acknowledging this and its presence, I believe that we attract more positive things, more positive people, more opportunities, more possibilities, more solutions, more people in our tribe. All of these things come about, and they have a way of manifesting when we practice gratitude. And I am a true and firm believer of this as well. So now I will talk about the 3 ways, which I've already mentioned, that I practice gratitude. 1 is writing it down, so jot it down at night, before bed, and no matter what shitty day you have, right? Like, I don't know, your car got towed because your dumbass parked it somewhere you weren't supposed to. Maybe you got rejected from a potential client. Maybe your family gave you shit for not being the Asian daughter they want you to be. True story. A story of my life. There's gotta be something you are grateful for. And if it's not something major, like you making $1 million or you booking a trip to Argentina, which I also did recently as well, but there's still simple things, which is there are people way less fortunate than you and I, without clean water, without food, without a roof over their head, without the ability to pay rent. And the perfect example of something I'm so grateful for today, which seems so small, but it's actually huge, is today is Saturday. I came to the office because I love working at a quiet office. I actually work, since I have my own businesses, I work out of cafes when I travel, and then I also rented a few different co-working spaces because I love the ability to work out of a space where there's a lot of other creatives and entrepreneurs. However, on the opposite end of that, I love having the space to myself. So it's both and. If I want to come in and be surrounded by that energy, I come in during the week. Then during the weekend, there's this like beautiful space. I'm in a shipping container right now, but there's like a rooftop, there's like 3 levels. This is a converted mall into a co-working space. And so I just felt like this gratitude coming into work on a Saturday. There's probably like 10 people in the entire building, and I'm very grateful for that. And then I laughed because I went to Whole Foods thinking I was gonna buy something, but it was busy. I wasn't really feeling anything I saw. And so I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna get pho. For those of you guys that know me, know that I love pho. Like, that's my favorite meal of all times. It has the soup, it has the meat if you want, it has the vegetables, it has the noodles, carbs, all that good stuff. And it's so tasty and fairly healthy. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go down like the block and like sit down and have pho. Then I was like, well, I'm working at the office today. Do I really want to go sit there and have lunch for another hour? I already had a little bit of a late start from my own standards. So like, let me go on Grub Hub and see if they deliver. So I looked up pho nearby, and they didn't deliver, but this other pho place that I love, Kult Mix, out of Oakland, shout out to Kult Mix, delivers. So I was like, okay, Grub Hub at my fingertips. And by this point, I had already spent like $7.50, which I posted on Instagram about, a $7.50 coffee. Like, it was a dirty chai, an iced dirty chai. And I'm laughing because I'm like, I know I've paid $7.50 many times for coffee before, but I'm laughing because I'm like, damn, coffee is $7.50, and we don't even, not we, but I, and a lot of us, I'm sure, we don't even think twice. about paying $7.50 for coffee. You could buy like a bag of coffee for that, you know? You could definitely buy a whole thing of Trader Joe's coffee for $7.50. And so I'm smiling because here I am walking to my office with my $7.50 coffee in my hand, feeling so grateful that I can totally afford that. Yes, maybe some people are like, that's a total waste of money. You ask, you know, Sergio, my boyfriend, or my mom, they'll be like, I'd rather drink coffee at home. But, you know, I like grabbing my coffee. I love coffee shops. I love the act of buying it, smelling it, holding the cup and walking with it. And I love it. So I was so grateful in that moment, and I still am, for the ability to like make money and not worry about spending the $7.50 for coffee. Do I think twice about it? Like, oh man, how many people can this feed in another country, or even in our own country in America? And sometimes I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't spend like that. But on the other hand, it's like, hey, I work hard. If I want coffee, I can get coffee. I laugh more later as I'm ordering on Grub Hub, and my pho and this like tofu spring roll thing costs like $30. And I'm like, okay, so I just spent $30 on lunch and $7.50 on coffee. And sure, that's a lot of money if you put it in another context. And at the same time, it's like, hey, I am able to afford this. I'm able to treat myself. I'm able to come to the office, work on a Saturday, and be really grateful that I can eat like that. And sometimes way more. And sometimes I'm super happy with a $3.50 sandwich, Vietnamese sandwich. Can you guys tell that I like Asian food by now? Anyways, and so I'm just like, little things. I believe that we can find so much joy and appreciation in gratitude in things that are often overlooked, right? For someone that maybe doesn't make that much money, it's like something to be really grateful for, to be able to afford. I don't know, does McDonald's even have a dollar menu anymore? I don't know, right? That's something to be super grateful for. For someone that makes way more, like maybe they even overlook like having a really expensive $500 meal. And that's something to be grateful for. So there's always these opportunities, whether it's the breath of life, waking up, having people that care about us in our lives, progress, waking up in the morning, getting up in the morning, actually, let me say that, waking up and getting out of bed, right? Having the willpower to get out of bed when we don't want to do the things that we get to in order to achieve our dreams and in order to pursue the career and our life purpose, you know, what we actually really want. So there's many things to be grateful for, and the 3 ways that I practice those things is speaking about it as I am now and as I often do to people on my Instagram stories, my Instagram live. Second is to write about it, which you can do it on your journal, on your planner, somewhere. And sometimes I even write these little like notes on Post-its, and I like fold them and put it in a jar. They're like gratitude bits, they're like acknowledgement, so that one day, if you want to pull one out and read it, you can. And even if not, I feel like there's such a magic to physically putting something down with pen and paper and like writing it out. It's like putting it out there into the universe. And then lastly is a fairly new practice to me. It's meditation. I've tried it multiple times before over the years, and recently I've been a lot more consistent with it. I do guided meditation through the Calm app, and there's a lot of amazing practices and philosophies in meditation that brings out a lot of gratitude, that allows for us to really take a pause and acknowledge the appreciation and all the beauties that life has to offer. So that's my share of today. Hope you guys enjoy it. And if you guys currently practice gratitude, great. If not, I highly recommend it. Just simple as 1 or 2 lines a day, because I'm sure there's absolutely something that you are grateful for. See you guys next time.
Hey, I keep my foot on the gas. crash. I know I'm never gon' crash.